Welcome to VLADA'S Seeds of Life. I am Vlada, and this is my take on cooking, kids, and family. This show is all about you and about bringing families back to dining table for a quality family time and a healthy homemade meal. Join me on my travels in pursuit of exceptional places, people, and most delicious recipes. This show is about all of us, about healthy and happy families and strong communities. Watch out, junk food, because here I come. So get your aprons on and let's get cooking. In today's episode, I'm taking you to a faraway and snow-covered Sweden. During the wintertime, this country looks simply enchanted. Beside beautiful sightseeing, I'm here to find out what is it that Swedes serve for school lunches to their children. And then upon my return to States, I'm gonna try to recreate one of their recipes to share with you. As soon as I arrived to Sweden, it was pretty clear Swedes were really serious about kids and healthy cooking. This magazine just happened to be in my train seat. It didn't take me too long to realize that this country was nothing like California. Getting around took a little effort, but it was always worth the while. There was so much to see, just like this historic settlement in the city of Avesta. Besides eating healthy, Swedes also get plenty of exercise. For me, the part that I enjoyed the most was the quiet side of Sweden. Could you believe that 53% of Sweden is covered with forest? Even more amazing is that you're perfectly safe to drink tap water in this country. With thousands of lakes, plenty of rain and snow, Swedes have some of the tastiest and the cleanest tap water. From 2 hours of walking in the forest. It was beautiful. It's peaceful, quiet, serene, and on top of all of that, I had a creek who followed me most of my path, and I had enjoyed the sound of water running by.
Look at these babies! I wish I brought some bread to feed them.
Because of being so far north, daylight too has a different shade. This Viking country is very rich in history. And while Sweden is very proud to hold to its heritage and its tradition, it's evident that new is easily and lovingly embraced. While I wouldn't mind spending all my time in Sweden walking through the beautiful forests, there was so much more to see. Stockholm is a true Swedish jewel. There is so much to like about this country. Their public transportation is amazing, especially the underground railroads. they are one of the best in the world. Their metro is also one of the world's largest art galleries. Being a foodie, it was inevitable I will end up on their market, where they sell some of the prettiest and freshest flowers, as well as abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables. Right below this open market was a series of stores where you could purchase all kinds of dry goods, some of the finest meat cuts and the freshest fish. I have never seen so much fresh fish, and all I could think about were recipes that I could create using some of these ingredients. For me, this felt like being in the most luxurious department store.
And I brought you in one of the best places to be when it comes to food. You will be surprised. This is a school kitchen. And for years now, I've been hearing about how well Swedes feed their kids in school. And you know I'm all about feeding kids healthier. So we are in one of the Swedish schools with their chef Kaja. And she's taking us through kitchen, through her pantry, her freezer, and through the dishes that she's making today with the rest of the chefs. The food is amazing, and all I hope is that they will invite me by the end of the day for lunch. All right, Kaja's taking me into storage. Let's see.
We have dairies, and we have like yogurt, and it's without sugar, without any...
Plain yogurt.
No, plain yogurt. And we have breakfast in the morning. Yeah, for the kids that come here very early because their parents maybe have to work, so they leave them here. And we have breakfast for them, like mackerel, fish on a sandwich. It's good.
The kids will eat that?
Yeah,
Please
of course.
Show me that again. Yeah. All right, kids. Kids in Sweden eat stuff like this, and you guys wouldn't even touch sardines. Come on.
The ordinary cheese, 17% fat, so no fats. And we use a lot of cottage cheese. And when we make a dressing, we do it on yogurt.
Yes.
So we avoid white sugar as much as possible. This is mango pureed, and you just defrost it, and it tastes wonderful. Just mango, no sugar.
Mango
just mango, pureed mango. You put it on a pancake, it's wonderful.
This is a pantry where they keep dry spices, flour, rice, and things like that. And so only thing that I can think about is that the food gets personality in this kitchen. So this is very important, which means the chef has an opportunity to make it interesting. It's not prepackaged and predestined what it should taste like.
From dry herbs to good olive oil, spices, good grains and nuts, Sweden knows what's good for their kids.
We're gonna meat like this. Then we made meatballs.
So you get ground beef.
Yeah.
Start from scratch.
No. We always from scratch. Always from scratch. Everything. This is lingonberries.
Okay, now tell us about these berries because they're really.
In Sweden, we get them with meatballs.
Okay.
So you can eat a jam with lingonberry jam, but we don't like serving jam, so we take lingonberries and a little bit of sugar.
So you make your own.
We make our own.
And this way you control the amount of sugar that
yes,
is in it.
Yes. And we have raspberries and strawberries here, which we use to make smoothies.
I think it's very easy to see a bigger picture here and to realize that Sweden is quite serious about providing the freshest ingredients and proper nourishment to their students.
I feel so privileged being here today.
I'm very curious to find out what Kaja and her crew are making for lunch today.
walking in this kitchen, to me, it felt like I was walking in my grandmother's kitchen. It smells like home. You can smell the flavors of true ingredients and a natural food. So Kaya, how is it to cook in a pot of that size?
Not a problem.
So, do kids like soup? Do they eat a lot of soup?
It depends what kind of soup.
What's their favorite?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Is it cream or broccoli? Cream or broccoli?
Yeah.
In addition to homemade meals, this school is really big on salads. So much so that on average day they offer between 5 to 6 different fresh salads to their students.
Alright, so I just learned that there's a cool way to cook rice around here because they cook a lot of rice. So Kaya, what are you guys doing? Show me.
Rice and water and salt.
Yes?
Shut the door and you have this. It cooks with only steam.
Steam.
Yeah, so it doesn't get burnt or anything.
So it's an oven.
It poaches it. Can you say it like that?
So it's an oven with the steamer inside.
Yeah.
So what does it take?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's cooked to perfection.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have fish. White fish. It's like cod, a cousin to cod, maybe.
And kids actually eat it?
Yeah, they love fish.
So tell me, how are you going to prepare this?
We put them in pans.
Yes?
And then we bread them a bit.
Okay.
A little bit of oil, salt, maybe spices, and then in the oven. So we do not fry this.
So you broil the fish?
No, not boil. We
broil, like a broil?
Yeah, just eat.
Just heat?
Just heat.
Oh my gosh, I wish I was here for lunch tomorrow. Oh, sounds delicious. So things get better around here because look at this, they're even baking bread. So Kaya, you're telling me you made a dough yourself last night?
Yesterday.
Yes.
And then you put it in pans.
Yes.
And in the refrigerator.
Uh-huh.
And in the morning when I come to work,
Yes.
I put it in here for proving.
Just rising?
Rising, yes.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm baking.
But there's more. These cooks prepare special meals for children who have special food restrictions and allergies, like this dairy-free coconut cream rice pudding.
All right, I'm very lucky. I get to try Avesta first, and I'm hoping they're gonna invite me to have the rest of the food. But let's see what this rice pudding tastes like. Oh, it's way better than I make it. I'll take the dairy-free rice pudding anytime.
But it gets even better. And instead of using sugary syrups, they are cooking fresh raspberries and mango that will go over this rice pudding. They are all about fresh and no sugar added.
Oh, Kaya, I can't wait to try some of this food. That looks amazing.
Lots of veggies and chicken.
My kind of food.
I like this too.
And this is the best part. I actually get a chance to dip into this good food. So Kaya, let's see. If you taste this good,
If it's alright, yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
You like it?
Oh, this is insane. This is like a top-notch food. It's like a better than a restaurant. Okay. Am I invited for lunch?
Of course.
Yes?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I think I earned it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Delicious. So you're gonna serve this over rice, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I want some more pudding when I'm done. Is there good
For dessert, pudding.
I can't wait.
I was so taken by the deliciousness of Kaya's recipe that I couldn't wait to get back to States and make my own version of it.
We'll be using all kinds of fresh ingredients.
Definitely, we're gonna need some chicken, we have some fresh onions from our garden, a pepper, we have some broccoli, a very good olive oil, some chicken broth, and coconut cream. And we are bringing it all together with some unique spices. We're gonna start with cooking rice first. And I learned this little trick from my neighbor Joe.
I could never make a good rice, and I realized that in order to make a really good rice, you need to preheat the water really well. So I'm gonna let the water preheat, and I have about 5 cups of water in here and 2 cups of rice. While water is preheating, we're gonna start making chicken curry.
We're starting with a 1/4 cup of olive oil.
While water and oil are preheating, I'm gonna chop some fresh garlic. And we are going with about 6 to 7 cloves. Now, I like a lot of garlic in my chicken curry. We're going with olive oil and garlic. We're just gonna let the garlic fry for a little bit. And you see some of them are getting golden brown. And then we're gonna add chicken. We have 3 large chicken breasts here.
A good pinch of salt. And fresh black pepper.
While meat is cooking, we will pre-cut 1 bell pepper.
I'm adding red peppers both for flavor and for the color. I'm also adding some young onions, and these are from our garden. So I just picked them up yesterday. They're very small, but very fragrant. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut them on the quarters like this. And then we're gonna add them to the chicken and peppers and let them saute together.
Growing vegetable garden in California can be challenging due to heat and rodents. But onions are one of those special vegetables that nothing will bother. So I'm lucky. This year I got a plentiful harvest.
Looking very good, Abby, and we're just gonna make sure that it gets brown on all sides. Oh, ready. Abby, I will put a little bit of salt in the water and maybe just a touch of olive oil. See? Chicken is almost done, and now Abby will add peppers and onions. And here's another little trick that we're going to add to this dish. It's a very concentrated chicken broth. So you're going to need about 2 teaspoons of chicken broth, assuming that this is low sodium.
And now we're adding a teaspoon of curry.
And this is a true magic. This is what's going to bring this dish to that unique flavor. A teaspoon of curry. And we also have some ginger. So let's add a little bit of ginger, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. Very good. And just to be kind of playful with this dish, how about adding a good pinch of turmeric? A little bit more, Abby. Let's bring a little bit more. A good pinch. Very good. See, the dish is already turning nice and yellow. It's getting this typical look of a curry dish. We're adding only 1 teaspoon of curry, but if you like strong curry flavor, obviously you can add a little bit more. Abby, let's check if the rice is done. And watch your fingers. I think it's good. Okay, it looks perfect. It didn't take very long to cook. Just turn the fire off. Okay, let it.
Let's see what Chef Abby thinks about it.
It's good. It's very good. Next thing is adding broccoli. And now we're going to make this dish nice and creamy. And for that, we're going to use coconut milk. The coconut milk will bring all this dish to its creamy consistency. And I'm using 3 cups of coconut milk. I might end up using the rest a little bit later, but for now, let's start with 3 cups. This is a good time to check if the dish is still salty enough. Abby and I checked, and we feel like we would like to add just a little bit more salt. And we have 2 options. We can add a little bit more salt, or we can add some of that chicken broth, concentrated chicken broth. What would you prefer? Either one, okay. So I would say let's go with the chicken broth because rice is very plain and we want this dish to be flavorful. So it will bring the whole thing together nicely. Okay? So how do you open this, Abby? Is there a secret? Just flavors to your liking. Meaning a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, a little bit more curry, or whatever else that is that works for you. So I'm adding a little bit more black pepper. Okay, this is just about done, so I'm going to reduce the fire on low while I go and cut fresh herbs. What makes this dish very special for me is actually the herb finish. And the way I like to finish it is with some fresh basil, and we got this basil from our garden too, and some fresh cilantro. Now, cilantro is my own little twist to chicken curry, and I learned to love this herb through Thai food. I noticed that a lot of Thai food incorporates basil and cilantro together, and I just love that blend. So we're gonna go ahead and use both. I'm gonna cut them in a little bit bigger chunks, just so they show in a dish. Basil is how nice and rich it is in color. So it's very healthy and very fresh, very fragrant. So just cut big pieces of that. This dish is not only delicious, but it's really, really good for you. It has a lot of good protein, a lot of good herbs, and good spices, and it's served on a light rice. So in some ways, it's healthy and good for you. Okay, it's time to go back to Chef Kaya.
I make bread for kids because it's healthy and it's much cheaper than store-bought. I mean, it's just flour and yeast, water, some oil, that's it.
And a little bit of effort.
Yeah, a little bit of effort.
You're awesome.
That's it. I'm having fun.
So finally it was time for lunch, and I was so curious to see if kids will actually eat this kind of food. Beside homemade meals and abundance of fresh salads, whole grain breads and crackers, low-fat milk, and water are served as well. Notice there's no soda or juices served in this school. Finally, here was the moment of truth, and I wanted to see if the students will actually put some of this food in their plates.
Lägga lite där. Vill du ha lite utav den grejen?
To my surprise, it was evident that kids in this school were used to well-balanced meals and variety foods. But that was not the end of my surprises, as I sat down to talk to the school's principal, who explained to me that in addition to teaching kids how to eat healthy, they are also using this time to teach kids good etiquette and table manners. To accomplish this, teachers are asked to accompany students at a table to be a good example of how to eat well-balanced meals, as well how to behave at a table. I love this idea. After lunch, students were asked to help clean up and salvage all the leftover food for recycling. Nothing goes to waste in Sweden, especially food. With lunch done, it was finally time for us to sit down and have our meal. Food was delicious, and now it was time to have a dessert. Look at this beautiful sauce. I like it even more knowing there's no sugar added.
Oh yeah, make it pretty.
They're forcing me to try this, and I don't want to disappoint them. I want to honor their hard work, so I'll just have a double take. And it's a pudding. It's their special pudding with the sauce. It's made entirely with raspberries, fresh raspberries, and fresh mango. Nothing else. So come close. Let me show you how delicious this looks like. Okay, the sweet pain of hard work. Oh goodness, I don't know if I can do this.
My name is Eva Södergård and I am a manager for the nutrition in school.
in the school. So
It's very important that they eat good foods because they have to learn in the school. And if they eat more foods who is good, they learn more.
So this is a very smart move on the government's part, because the government is investing in feeding kids healthy foods, expecting that they will grow up to be healthier, smarter, and more productive.
Yes.
Very good. Well, my compliments to you and to government, of Swedish government, for figuring this out on time. We're trying to do the same thing in America now. So thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The challenge for us here is make the kids like good healthy food, because a lot, not all of them, but a lot of them don't eat vegetables as much as they should at home, and a lot of trash food. They're eating hamburgers and pizza and tacos and sausage at home. So they're not used to eat food make from scratch. So it's that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to learn them eat good, healthy, well done food.
Very good. So it looks to me like the school is trying to be the good parent
Yeah.
and instill the good habits in kids.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, again, compliments of what you are doing here. The kitchen and what's in your kitchen looks amazing, and all I can say, good for your kids and good for Sweden.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I learned so much here in Sweden, and I couldn't wait to get back home to share it all with you. Did you already forget about our little chicken curry? Well, before we serve it, we're bringing a few tasters to give us their opinion.
After everybody tried a dish, everybody agreed that we should add more curry. And that's the beauty of cooking. You can just add more or less of whatever you like. So instead of using only 1 teaspoon of curry, we're going to add 2 teaspoons, right? Yeah. Okay.
Before this episode is over, I wanted to thank you for spending time with us, for visiting Sweden and their school system, and for making this simple recipe with me and Abby. My intention was to share a story of how other countries manage to provide healthy, nutritious, and all-natural meals to their students. After all, it is of a national interest to grow healthy, smart, and productive citizens. Our country is amazing, and it's capable of great inventions. So I have to believe that one of these days, we too will be able to serve homemade meals to our kids in schools.
All right, and this is pretty much done. We should thank Swedish chefs for the inspiration, and for all of you who watched, I think you will see that this was really simple and easy to make, and it's good for you. So we hope that we inspired them to do the same. Thank you all for watching, and until the next episode, please take good care of yourself and those around you.